I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Например, в стойке Маддалене он может показать хороший бой. Не секрет, я собираюсь его переводить, я собираюсь его контролировать, заставлять его устать, навязывать свой стиль боя.
UFC 322 is all set to take place on November 15th at Madison Square Garden in New York between Jack Della Maddalena.
UFC 322 is scheduled to take place on November 15th at Madison Square Garden in New York, featuring a highly anticipated matchup between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. Both fighters are training rigorously for this mega fight. Islam is preparing intensely under the guidance of Khabib Nurmagomedov, ahead of his debut in the welterweight division, leaving nothing to chance as he aims to secure a second UFC belt. Welterweight fighter Colby Covington predicts that Islam Makhachev will defeat Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledges that Islam is naturally a lightweight and may be the smaller fighter in the matchup, but emphasizes that he is a well-rounded competitor. Covington explains that if Islam can take Maddalena down and control him, he will have a strong chance of winning. He also highlights that the size difference adds intrigue to the fight and notes that, with the odds favoring Makhachev, he is siding with the favorite.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be.
Colby Covington also called out Paddy Pimblett, expressing interest in a potential fight if Pimblett decides to move up to 170 pounds. He questioned why Paddy is acting like a weight bully and dismissed him as a gimmick. Covington added that if a matchup with Pimblett doesn't materialize, he may instead pursue a fight against Gilbert Burns.
I mean, the Paddy Pimblett fight super interests me because in Miami he was talking shit, running his mouth backstage. Like, I wasn't even looking at him or talking to him. He wants to start some shit. He's been saying some shit. He was saying in an interview the other day, his doctor said he had liver failure from cutting to 155. Dude, come up a weight class. Come to 170. Why are you being a weight bully, Paddy? You're a bum. You're a gimmick. You're a fucking, little English accent and your little bowl cut. That's the only reason people know you. So let's get it going, Paddy. And if I can't get Paddy, then maybe.
Moreover, UFC legend Michael Bisping reacted to the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena matchup, expressing surprise that Islam is such a heavy favorite. He feels the odds underestimate Jack, considering his long win streak and proven success against top grapplers. Bisping highlighted Jack's boxing and footwork as potential advantages if the fight stays on the feet, and he suggested that fans shouldn't be surprised if Jack manages to come out on top.
Crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. Yes, Islam Makhachev is incredible. And he'd be another contender for pound number one, greatest of all time, whatever you want to call it. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev. And with the boxing of Jack, if Islam was to stand with him, that'd be a bad idea. With Jack's boxing and the footwork that is associated with boxing, that's going to help him. That's going to be very advantageous. He knows how to defend the takedown. He knows what he's doing off his back. He can get back to his feet. So yeah, I understand why Islam is a slight favorite, because he's tried and tested and the greatest lightweight fighter that the sport's ever seen. But don't be surprised if Jack Della Maddalena gets.
Meanwhile, Jack Della Maddalena's coach, Ben Vickers, strongly believes that Islam Makhachev will struggle against Jack's punching power. Unlike Belal Muhammad, Vickers argues, Islam does not have the same ability to absorb clean shots. He emphasized that Jack's knockout threat is present at any moment in the fight, whether early or late. and pointed to his combination of power and conditioning as crucial factors that could determine the outcome.
Has the chin that Bilal has.
You feel like it's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like third, fourth round, or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the first minute, it could happen in the 24th minute, it could happen in the 24 minute 59 seconds, it could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights, he likes to be in there, but obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Bilal's reputedly the best cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Bilal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional, and yeah, I like the fight. I really do.
Then Vickers weighed in on how Islam Makhachev might perform at welterweight. He noted that while Islam is naturally strong, Jack Della Maddalena is the bigger fighter with more power on the feet. Vickers explained that moving up a division after years at lightweight could affect Islam's speed, movement, and cardio. Even with time to adjust to the added weight, he admitted it is difficult to predict how well Islam's strength and style will translate against a true welterweight. Similarly, Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, acknowledged that Jack Della Maddalena presents a unique challenge compared to Islam's previous opponents. Rather than focusing on Jack's record, Mendez emphasized his unpredictability, timing, and body shots. Noting that Jack can build his offense without relying solely on knockouts, he added that Islam's team must approach the fight strategically, staying alert, carefully studying Jack's movement, and actively creating openings instead of waiting for them.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yeah. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then all of a sudden a kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to... No, we got to see what he's going to give us, and we have to... Probably, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to.
Javier Mendez also commented on Islam Makhachev's mindset ahead of a potential fight with Jack Della Maddalena. He explained that Islam isn't concerned with comparing Jack to fighters like Islam Ankalaev or others. Instead, he is motivated by the challenge itself. Mendez added that Islam thrives on testing his abilities and relies on the complete skill set he has developed through years of disciplined training.
It's hard to say if he's a harder challenge. I just know Islam wants this one. So for me, that's the challenge I want, and it's the challenge that I know Islam's going to be, supreme over, because I just know his skill set. I know what he brings to the table, and he brings an incredible work ethic along with skill set in every area. So.
On the other hand, Sean Brady admitted that he personally wants Islam Makhachev to win, viewing a future fight with him as a legacy moment and a true test of grappling skills. He expressed interest in matching his ground game against Islam's to see who would come out on top. However, when making a prediction, Brady leaned toward Jack Della Maddalena, believing the underdog is being underestimated and has the tools to pull off an upset. Sean Brady believes Islam Makhachev's move up in weight has thrown the welterweight division into chaos. He pointed out that Islam and Ilia Topuria appear to be setting up a future fight, which could influence his own next move. Brady noted that a loss would likely send Islam back to lightweight, while a win at welterweight might keep him in the division for a short run. He predicted that Islam would defend the belt once or twice before eventually vacating it or retiring.
Coming up is what kind of fucked up this whole division in the first place, but you can't be mad at him. If I was in that situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing. But I know him and Topuria are trying to set something up. If he wins, I think he's staying at 170. I think the chances of him, if he loses, there's a bigger chance of him going back down to 155, and then maybe them still doing that Ilia Topuria fight. That's how I think of it. I think if he wins at 170, he'll defend it 1 or 2 times, and then he'll bounce from there. Yeah, and vacate or retire. Like those guys, they're not fighting very late into their 30s.
Robert Whitaker expressed surprise at Islam Makhachev giving up the lightweight championship. He explained that while fighters often follow trends, this move felt unusual because Islam is currently one of the UFC's biggest stars. Whitaker believed the promotion would prefer him to hold the belt as long as possible, making the decision even more unexpected. Robert Whitaker analyzed the matchup in favor of Jack Della Maddalena. He believes Jack's toughness and determination will help him withstand Islam Makhachev's relentless wrestling pressure. Whitaker highlighted that Jack's striking could provide an advantage if the fight stays on the feet, and noted that Islam might hesitate to rely on his usual takedown-heavy approach, knowing that Jack can still be dangerous even from his back. Robert Whitaker examined the matchup through a strategic lens, comparing it to Islam Makhachev's earlier fight with Alexander Volkanovski. He suggested that Jack Della Maddalena could use his skills to exploit openings that other opponents were unable to capitalize on. Whitaker highlighted Jack's timing and precision in striking as key factors that could create problems for Islam when he tries to close the distance. While acknowledging that Islam still holds the wrestling advantage, Whitaker noted that Jack's blend of grappling and striking makes him a constant threat throughout the fight.
The Volk fight, their first pairing. I see the fight potentially going that way, but I think Jack's in a better position to take advantage of the things that Volk couldn't. I think he's got better hands, especially over 5 rounds with the longer arms and the reach, especially considering Islam's going to be trying to close that distance to get closer. Jack's tight fighting is so high level. Honestly, skill-wise, I think they both have their strengths. I don't think either one of them is overly superior in any which way. Like, yes, Islam would be a better wrestler, but Jack has the grappling to kind of threaten that. Not to mention, I think he's got the type boxing to make him pay for anything he does.
Robert Whitaker predicted that Islam Makhachev would lean on his kicking game, drawing confidence from its effectiveness in his bouts with Alexander Volkanovski. He observed that Jack Della Maddalena has shown vulnerabilities in defending kicks, which could leave him exposed if Islam targets them consistently. Whitaker added that once Islam wears Jack down with strikes, he could then use takedowns to take control of the fight.
I think Islam has got the kick superiority, and if Jack doesn't address that, which he hasn't in a lot of his fights, the kicks, he's going to get kicked a lot, okay? Islam likes throwing kicks. He used that very well against Volk as well. I think that's going to be a game plan of Islam, is try and wear him down with those kicks, take a takedown when they see him, but I can see him really going heavy in the kicks. External factors aside as well, Jack has nothing to lose.
No, he doesn't.
You know what I mean? As well. And I think Islam's got everything to lose. He's the hottest prospect right now.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev hinted at a possible return to 155 pounds to face Ilia Topuria, after being asked at a press conference whether he would move back down to silence Topuria once and for all. His sharp response immediately electrified the crowd. Islam Makhachev discussed his current weight and comfort level at welterweight during the Eagle FC press conference. He revealed that before his last camp, he weighed around 183 to 185 pounds, but with proper training and nutrition, he now sits closer to 189 pounds. Makhachev explained that this is the weight where he feels strong and sharp while sparring with natural welterweights. He added that gaining additional size isn't a priority, as his camp has already prepared him to compete effectively at the higher division.
Islam, what is your weight now? How much did your weight change, and how did your physical condition, your physical preparation change? You know, up until last camp, I think my weight was about 83, 84. But now with the right regimen, with the right diet, my weight is now 86.5. Yesterday was 86.5. I think right now I'm where I need to be. I'm at the right weight. I'm at the place where I feel comfortable with working out, sparring, and working with the guys that usually fight at 77. To continue to gain the weight from now on is not necessarily the goal of mine. I mean, it might go up by 1 or 2 kgs in training still, but we've already done plenty of work during this camp with heavyweights to make sure to gain the
Furthermore, Islam Makhachev discussed Ilia Topuria's next fight, suggesting that the most logical matchup at lightweight would be against Arman Tsarukyan. He noted that Tsarukyan has already proven himself as a top contender and deserves the opportunity. Makhachev added that if Tsarukyan approaches the fight with the right mindset, he has the tools to challenge and potentially defeat Topuria.
На твой взгляд, сейчас самый справедливый бой за чемпионство в легком весе между кем? Между Ильей Топурией и Арманом Царукяном?
Ну да, конечно. Если кто-то когда-то, не знаю, в истории страховал бой, делал вес, он всегда дрался почти. Ну, я не помню в истории, чтобы не давали бой. Арман сделал последний турнир вес, подстраховал бой, и я думаю, он должен быть следующий. Он доказал, что у него же была проблема с весогонкой. Он доказал, что может спускаться, гонять вес. И я думаю, что это самый актуальный бой на данный момент.
У кого было бы больше всего шансов на победу?
Ну, я думаю, если честно, если Арман выйдет с правильным настроем, то он справится.
However, Ilia Topuria has shown little interest in facing Arman Tsarukyan, as he is already looking ahead. He made it clear that holding titles in 2 divisions isn't enough, setting his sights on welterweight if Islam Makhachev captures that belt. His plan underscores both his ambition and fearlessness, driven by the goal of chasing greatness and building a legacy as a 3-division champion.
If Islam becomes the welterweight world champion, for sure I'm gonna push for that shot also, and I will move to the welterweight division.
That's all we have from today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on upcoming UFC events and encounters.